Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome out to the farm. So I started to make this video last night and I'm gonna try to recreate my enthusiasm that I had last night when I was filming this, but I realized when I watched the video today, first off, my camera lens was pretty dirty, so the video is terrible and the lighting's really bad, so you can't actually see what I'm talking about. And then secondly, my phone died in the middle of the video, so I didn't even get the last half of the video. Anyways, what I was filming last night, I was working on pretty late in the garage. I needed to do a oil change on the Subaru here. That's the car my wife drives. I noticed that when I was coming back from Virginia, the oil light was coming on. It wasn't low. I think it can measure like the viscosity of the oil and all that. It said it didn't like the oil anymore. It was no good. I did an oil change on that, and then the light went off, so it seems to be good. Anyways, that's not what the video is about. In the process of that, I had been kind of tinkering around with an idea to add something onto the Gator, something that would make my life a lot easier. But I wasn't totally sure how to do it, if it was gonna, how much, hardware and things like that, what all was it gonna need. So anyway, so I was at Tractor Supply and I saw this really cool thing that holds your chainsaw. You mount it on your quad or your side-by-side or whatever, and it holds your chainsaw, so you don't have to put the chainsaw in the bed and to take up space. I was like, that is awesome, because what we run into a lot out here is I'm cutting firewood, tree goes down on a trail, I'm cutting the tree up, I load it up, the bed on the Gator's not that big. My brother-in-law, Brock, he cuts a lot of his firewood using the Gator, and I know every piece you can put on there is one less piece you have to make another trip for, and if you got to put your chainsaw on there, that takes up the room of what could be a few more logs. So, not really a huge deal, but over time, 10, 20 trips like that, that might be a whole nother load of wood that you could have fit on there, but you had your chainsaw and it took up a spot. Anyways, I wanted to figure out something to deal with that. Also, I've had the issues with the chainsaw just with the bed's empty, just sliding around and like it's not secured in there. I don't like to take the case because the case is even bigger, it takes up even more space. So I saw this thing at Tractor Supply, you mount on, like I said, and I was like, that's awesome, I want to get that. And then I looked at the price tag and it was like $250. I was like, geez, I can buy a new chainsaw, small one, but I could buy a new chainsaw for that price. That is not worth, it's not worth it for just a holder. So, flip you around here. Creating the enthusiasm for last night. So, I built this. So I looked at the one at Tractor Supply and I said, I think I can make that. And so, we had an extra sheath that was for like a shorter, this is called the bar. For those of you who don't know, this piece here, the gray part is the bar. We have a longer one, which actually is in here. So that's a longer one there, with the ends not cut off. And that's the one that's normally on there when it's inside the case. That was an extra one. We don't actually have a chainsaw that was that length, so that was just kind of laying around. So I said, you know what, I'll cut the end off, and I will mount it on the back of the Gator so that I can put the chainsaw in there. It's pretty sturdy, even if it's bouncing around. And then, just like right now, I got a box I got to burn, I got my tools, I got oil from last night from changing the car, I'm getting ready to throw another bucket in there. So that's not taking up space. And normally if the bed was full, I would throw it up front here, which isn't a big deal, but I've also had the chainsaw almost fall out of here a few times, because there's no good way to balance it in there. And if I have someone riding with me, then I can't put the chainsaw there. So I am like super pumped about this. And then I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to, let's see if I could fold this in half. I can. And I'm going to try to keep filming here. All right, so when I need to use it, slide it right out like that. Good to go. All right. Then when I'm done, put it back down in there, like that. Nice and easy. And if I don't want any of this on here, I just pull that off. This stays because these have nylon washers, so they're not going to come out. And then I can use the tailgate like normal. But what I didn't plan on doing, and what I was like super excited about last night that I discovered, is if the chainsaw is, make sure I have it going the right way. So yeah, so normally I have it in there kind of like that. So I have the chainsaw in there like that, okay? And then I want to work on the chainsaw. I can pull it up a little bit so it'll clear the muffler plate down in there. But then it'll just sit in there like that. So if I need to take the air hose or whatever, and then even better, if I need to put more fuel and oil in, gas and oil, I can do it like this, because as you can see, when I was cutting the other day with my dad, grab the phone here, I spilled some oil on there, and that's not the first time. So inevitably, when I overfill these, like I normally do, it will just drain onto the ground and not into the bed or whatever else I have laying in there at the time. So this is awesome. And then, like I said, I can back up and take the air hose when I'm cleaning it out, and I can take the air filtering off. That was not planned. I did not anticipate that, but that was a really, really pleasant surprise when I was like, oh, I bet I can put the tailgate down and still work on it. So that cost me probably $20, all the parts, bolts and the little black plate thing on there. And then this was this sheath was free because I had to get that one extra. So like $20 to $25 project, a little, about a half hour last night drilling that out versus like $250. I think it was $250 for the one at Tractor Supply. So I am like ridiculously thrilled with this. So we're gonna ride around with it today a little bit, see while I'm doing some chores. The only thing I could see is if it's real muddy, I might get a little mud on the end of the bar, but I could just dust that off. That's not a huge deal. I tried putting this sheath in here, the long one, but then it doesn't sit down all the way and it kind of sticks up in the air. So not quite what I was looking for. I want it to sit down as far as it can, so that way like the brake handles kind of balance in there and it's just gonna move around a lot less. So now this video has become almost 6.5 minutes long. I'm super pumped. Hope you guys are super pumped. That was a really cool thing that came together. I would say 50% of my inventions work at all. 25% of those are like pretty good, and then maybe like 5% of them turn out to be awesome. And I would say this is in the 5%. So I got to test it a little bit more, but I'm super pumped. All right, hope you liked the video. Sorry I couldn't quite get to the enthusiasm I had last night, but like I said, everything went wrong when I tried to film that video. So have a good day. It's a little colder today, and it was like 70-some degrees the other day, but winter is still here. Hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.